In Parliament today, a key legislation was tabled, the Waqf Act, after it had been sent to the JPC earlier. Now it was tabled in Parliament amid an uproar. But what are the key changes? What does this new law mean? Uproar and ruckus in Parliament today, with both benches exchanging charges over tabling of the Joint Parliamentary Committee report on the Waqf Amendment Bill. Massive disruptions were seen in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. The opposition said our dissent notes have been deleted. The government said it's a completely invalidated charge. In fact, some MPs even entered the well of the House and ultimately staged a walkout.
जो वक़फ़ बोर्ड की जेपीसी की रिपोर्ट है, जिस रिपोर्ट में अनेक सदस्यों ने अपना डिसेंट नोट दिया है, वो नोट देने के बावजूद भी प्रोसीडिंग से निकालना और उन मेजॉरिटी मेंबर्स के व्यूज सिर्फ उसमें रखकर बुलडोज करना, ये ठीक नहीं है, ये कंडेमेबल है और एंटी डेमोक्रेटिक है, एंटी प्रोसीजर है।
आज जब as per the listed business, the JPC report on Waqf Amendment Bill was to be placed on the table of the House. And some of the concerns raised by the opposition party, I have just checked it. There is no deletion, there is no removal of any part of the report. Everything is tabled on the floor of the House. On what basis you can raise this kind of issues? Don't mislead the House. Sir, I am very pained to say that the honorable members from opposition parties are making unnecessary issue by raising issue which is not fact.
कि कुछ लोग देश को तोड़ने की साजिश करते हैं, कुछ लोग some people are trying to fight against the Indian state. और कांग्रेस पार्टी और विपक्ष आज देश के जो लोग खंडित करना चाहते हैं, देश को कमजोर करना चाहते हैं, उनके हाथ मजबूत करने का काम कर रही है तो विपक्ष कर रही है।
स्पीकर साहब को बताया कि हमारे जो डिसेंट नोट में कई पेजेस और पैराग्राफ्स को रीडैक्ट कर दिया गया है, तो स्पीकर साहब वाज वेरी काइंड इनफ, बहुत उन्होंने फौरन एसजी को बुलाया और कहा कि इनके साथ आप लोग बैठिए और देख लीजिए, रूल्स जो परमिट करता है उसको इंक्लूड करिए और जो नहीं करता है मत करिए। तो हम लोग बाद में पार्लियामेंट लाइब्रेरी में पूरे लोकसभा एमपीज बैठे और हमने अब बताया कि जो पोर्शंस को रिडैक्ट किया गया है, जो रूल्स के खिलाफ नहीं, उसको इंक्लूड करना चाहिए। तो हमारे जितने एमपीज थे वहां पर, उनके डिसेंट रिपोर्ट के साथ हम बैठे और तकरीबन जो पेजेस या लाइंस या पैराग्राफ रिडैक्ट थे वो इंक्लूड हो चुके हैं और स्पीकर ने कहा कि 2 बजे इसको लोकसभा में पेश किया जाएगा।
The word Waqf is an Arabic term that means a charitable trust. This trust or Waqf board typically holds assets and the income generated from them. In India, such endowments come under the Waqf Act, which governs the management of Waqf properties across the country. So let's take a look at the major differences between the Waqf Act of 1995 and this new bill that has been introduced in Parliament. First, let's take a look at the registration process. As per the current Act, there is no requirement for mandatory registration of Waqf properties, but under the new bill, there will be mandatory registration of all these properties with the District Collector's Office. Next is about the contentious issue of government properties. In the Act, there is no provision regarding government properties as Waqf. But in the bill, government properties cannot be recognized. That has been spelled out very clearly. So anyone stepping up one day and saying that this particular building, the Parliament building, the Secretariat is all standing on Waqf land, that cannot happen anymore. On dispute resolution, the Waqf Tribunal had the final authority over disputes, but as per the new law, it allows for an appeal in the High Court against the Waqf Tribunal's decision. Why is this important? Because earlier, it was almost like the people who are controlling the levers within the Waqf Tribunal are going to decide what happens. Even if your land has been taken away, you want to appeal against it, it's the Waqf Tribunal which has the final word. Now, the court of the land, the law of the land, will be the final word. On the issue of oral recognition of Waqf, it was admissible as per the old law, but the new bill doesn't allow this, and properties without a valid Waqfnama are considered disputed. It's not enough to just say it, you have to get it registered. Another issue was that a property by its current use could be considered as Waqf, which means that if any land has a mosque on it or is used for Islamic religious purposes, it is automatically considered Waqf property. In the new law, the land will not be considered Waqf property unless it has been donated to Waqf, and this also requires valid documentation. Earlier, there was no provision of auditing, but as per the new bill, central government can order audits of Waqf properties. Another contentious issue was the composition of Waqf board. There was no provision for women or non-Muslims there earlier, but the bill says that these boards must now have at least 2 non-Muslim members and women representatives as well. But the key issue was what changed in the JPC. The government worked out a kind of compromise by sending this bill to a Joint Parliamentary Committee for greater consultation. Did that change anything? Well, first, a person can only give his property to Waqf if he has been practicing Islam for 5 years and there is no fraud involved related to the property. Second, the Waqf tribunal will now have 3 members instead of 2, and the third will be an Islamic scholar. Earlier, there was a provision for 2 members only. Any official appointed by the state government can oversee and monitor a Waqf property. Earlier, such power was with a collector authorized to conduct a property survey. Some amendments also include allowing state government officials along with DMs to be appointed for certain roles. The opposition now is up in arms. They say that this is a violation of the religious rights of Muslims and an overreach on part of the government. Another charge is that non-Muslims in Waqf boards undermine religious integrity. The third charge is that it has been drafted without consulting Muslim organizations and risks political or bureaucratic exploitation, which factually is incorrect because wide-ranging consultations were done, including with Islamic bodies. Waqf boards currently control 8.7 lakh properties spanning 9.4 lakh acres across India. The value of these properties is a whopping 1.2 lakh crores. India has the largest Waqf holding in the world. In fact, it's the largest landowner in the country after the armed forces and the Indian Railways. No wonder then that the stakes are so high and this issue is so crucial that it is a recurrent echo inside Parliament as well.